Well, hello again, my fellow auto enthusiasts. Today I'm going to show you a kind of an easy way to do a U-joint in a Ford. Now, as you can see, I've already pressed the outer knuckle, or flange. I'm not sure what the hell they call that thing. I already pressed it. I already pressed the old one out. It was pretty shot. This is weird how to do this, and it's going to be very hard for me to show you how to do this with one hand and hold the camera. But the way this is designed, and yes, I have my trusty, what do you call it, U-joint press slash ball joint press tool, which works great. Mounted in the vise, and make sure you be careful and put wood around it so you don't ding out your drive shaft and cause it to come unbalanced. Also, you could see I marked it because you really want it in the same spot. It kind of goes like this, actually, but it goes like this, so I marked it. Like I said, it's going to be very hard to do this with one hand. You can see I marked it. There's a mark, so they come out equal. Now, the trick to this is obviously, hang on one second, I got to move the drive shaft. Alright, now the trick to this, as you can see, it's two pieces, and where's the new one at? When you go to try to put this together, or even take it apart, they don't fit. Look, see, it's too fat, it don't fit. So the real trick to this, trying to make enough room, is this is how you get them out. Get that thing in there. Okay, now, you see how I've done that? Like I said, this is going to be very hard to show you how to do this with one hand. But that's pretty much how you press them out. You pull the clips, of course. You got to pull the clips first. And a hammer and trusty old little pry bar tool. Dink, knocks them right out. But then you put them in the press, and you press one side out all the way. There it is. And then if it gets stuck, you just give it a little tap, the cap a tap with the hammer, and it should come loose. And then it comes out, and vice versa. Now, you do this just like this. When you're going to reinstall it, you put it in like that. Now make sure you take a file, and you bevel the inside edges. Right here, just on the inside. Because that way, you know, when it's going to, you're going to put it in, instead of it being a flat, and you might put a gall in it or something when you were pressing it out. Just do yourself a favor and take a file, as you see how I did right there, and clean up the inner edge. It just makes it so much easier to get it to fit in there. And then when you press it out like that, and then basically press it back in, just like this. Put the ball joint tool, put it up in the ball joint press, hold it real nice, and press it all the way in. Do yourself a favor and put the clip in. Put the clip in first. You'll see where the clip goes. Put the clip in first, and then flip it over, and you can press it in real gently. A little bit with the pry bar, with the tool, or you can take the cap and make sure you get it lined up real good, and make sure you don't slip the bearings. And you can whack it with a hammer a couple of times. Just make sure you put it on like this part of the vise, and or a piece of wood, so you don't want to gig the drive shaft. And then you knock it in with a hammer pretty good to get it started, and then finish it off with the press, and it'll come all the way. God, impossible to do this. Anyways, then it'll come all the way to the clip, where the clip goes. But you see it, there it goes. It'll go right. It'll press up to where the clip goes. If it's really loose when you press it in there, take it back out and take a center punch and ding it up a bunch of times in the center, and and around the areas. Put like, I don't know, 5 or 10 dings in it, and then you'll be able to press it back in, and it'll stay. Now, when you do get it back in, it's going to want to feel tight. you won't be able to move it. Alright, you see how this one, I got to be careful, the edges are sharp. This one moves easy. Whichever way you pressed it in, you'll see the clip probably be sticking out a little bit. Flip it over and just tap the caps with a hammer. You ain't got to hit it real hard. Just tap, tap, tap. And keep twisting it and you'll feel it loosen up. And then when you're done, take the old cap, put it on top of that, give it a little whack, and it'll make sure it seats the clip really good. And that's basically how that goes. Now when you're putting this back together, get this out of here. When you're getting this thing out of there, after you get it out of there, you're going to do the same when you put it in, just like this. You pull one cap. Now, these are Moog ball joints, ladies and gentlemen, Moog. And nobody sells greasable ball joints anymore. So I pack them really good extra with some really good Molly grease. It's stuck under there, but you get the point. And you take one cap off, line that thing up. You got to be really careful and hold it and line up the other cap. Make sure you do not slip the needles. And it should go right in really easy. Give it a little tap. And you'll know if you slip the needles because it'll just feel funny. And basically repeat the procedure. It's kind of tricky, but with that tool, it makes it very much more doable. If you don't have that tool, I'm sure the local parts store has it. You can rent it. Harbor Freight, you could probably buy the whole set for $75. Anyways, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Likes are nice. Subscribes are better. Comments, questions, feel free to leave them, ask. And stay tuned for more episodes of Automotive Drama.